I am going to give you some pointers on a landscape. Now listen, all landscapes are different and it's up to you what you want to make and how you want to do it. It also depends on the direction that you're looking at your landscape. If you're looking from a bird's eye view, you're looking down. If you're looking at from a worm's eye view, you're looking up. There's other words for this too, such as crater and airplane view, but it changes how your landscape might look. So I'm going to give you some pointers on here just to make sure that you have some starting places. I also have a list of ideas of things you might find in a landscape. You can use those ideas, but you don't have to. You can add to that list. It's a good starting place in case you're stuck and you're like, I don't know what to put in a landscape. So the first thing many people do when they draw a landscape is they draw a horizon line. So your horizon line, and I'm going to switch to marker real fast so you can see what I am drawing. Pencil does not seem to show up well. So a horizon line separates your sky from your land. Now because I'm doing this in marker, I will not be able to erase anything that I do, but of course you can always erase it too. And you can use this for drawing and you can use it for painting. So when you do this, anything above here is sky, anything below your horizon line is land. If it is attached to your horizon line in some way, it's considered land. So I'm not going to draw a house all the way up here because then it's floating. But I could add a hill and then put a house on here if I wanted to. Then it's still considered part of the land. But I wouldn't just put a house back there. The farther away something is, the smaller it is. So the closer I get to my horizon line or above it, the smaller it's going to get on the ground. So see how I made this house really, really, really small? The house that's right here might be a little bit bigger. And the house that is right here might be even bigger because when things are closer to you, they get bigger. And in artwork, they also tend to be lower on your paper the closer something is because that means they're close to you, so they're big. And the same thing applies to trees. So the farther away, the smaller it is. And then they slowly get bigger and bigger. So that's one technique that you can use in a landscape. You can do size, you could do location, you can use horizon line. You could also try overlapping. So overlapping is where one object is in front of another object, and of course the object in front is going to be bigger than the object behind it. So there's some rocks. So you now have location, size, horizon line, overlapping. You could also try vanishing point. So a vanishing point is somewhere on your horizon line, so I wouldn't put up in the sky, but it's this invisible dot, and it's where all things look like they disappear in space. So I'm going to make orthogonal lines coming from there, and I'm going to make it look like a road. So the lines that are closer in the middle of my road are going to be bigger, and as they get closer to that vanishing point, they're going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. This would be a good time to use a ruler as well. And then say I wanted to make a fence along my road. Well, I'd have a line coming here. Now here's the trick with this one though. These lines, you're going to make them straight up and down. So I'm going to use the edge of my paper as my guide because if they're not straight up and down, they're going to look a little bit funny. And as they get farther and farther away, they get smaller and closer together. You can also use that vanishing point on things like your building. Now this goes into a one-point perspective. So for my older students, I have more information on one-point perspective. For my younger students, it's up to you if you want to try it or not, but you can always look ahead. You can still have things in your sky, but same idea. Say I'm doing a simple cloud. If I have a farther away cloud, it's going to be smaller. But typically when things are farther away in your sky, and I did this a little backwards, they're closer to your horizon line as well, because that means they're lower and farther away. So it's up to you. You can have fun with this, but remember you've got location on your paper, you have size to play with, you have overlapping, you have horizon line, and you have vanishing point as all different ways to help you make a landscape. And I hope that helps. And then of course you can color it in however you want, and you can also paint it. It's up to you. Enjoy.